The people talk about the scaling laws, more computing, more innovation, more money going into these things, more clusters of computers being built, more chips. So if you just keep doing more, you'll get even faster, get further even faster. Do you think there's a limit to this at any point?
There is a limit unless you can generate your own training data. So with language models, most of the data in the world is siloed in companies. The freely available data has largely been used up. And so they are beginning to hit a limit. They're also hitting a limit where the amount of progress you make by scaling up is logarithmic. To get one extra little bit of performance, you need to double the amount of data and double the amount of computation. The next bit, you double again. So that's hitting a limit, and it's hitting an energy limit now. But for things that can generate their own data, you're not going to get a data limit. And I think even things like language models will be able to generate their own data by using reasoning. They'll be able to say, I believe this and I believe that. I can do some reasoning and say, so I ought to believe that, but I don't believe this other thing. So now something needs to be fixed. I need to fix one of the premises, or I need to fix the conclusion, or I need to fix the way I do the reasoning, but I can get a gradient to change things. And that's how things like AlphaGo learn to be much better than people, and it's how language models may learn to be much smarter than people.
I'm curious to know if you think there are sort of foundational architectures that will change or need to be developed to sort of push beyond that one difficulty that you still talk about, which is that to get better, you have to double the amount of data. You have to keep doing that. Of course, we can keep doing that. But are there other architectural things in the next few years or the next decade that you hope either will come, or problems that you think might be solved by changes in architecture that you think need to happen to really push this forward?
So I think there's two things here. We know that there's still lots and lots of progress that can be made by doing better engineering. And DeepSeek was a wonderful example of that. DeepSeek did better engineering to make use of old NVIDIA chips, and they did better engineering in the training. They did sort of piggyback on big chatbots trained with much more compute power. So there's engineering improvements will continue to happen, and so will allow us to do the same thing for less energy. But inevitably, there will be scientific breakthroughs. They're almost impossible to predict. We don't know when they'll happen. But I don't believe that things like transformers, which Google produced in 2017, made a big difference. I don't believe that's the last big breakthrough we'll get. We'll get other big breakthroughs in the architectures, as well as big breakthroughs in how we use those architectures. Like the recent idea that you should do much more computation at test time. So the computation isn't all in the training, and then at test time you do some fixed thing. You actually can do research at test time. That's making a big difference. But there will certainly be more breakthroughs in the architectures that we haven't thought of yet.